To understand post-traumatic Christian syndrome, we have to begin to first look at its origin. Where does it come from? Anytime you want to tackle a subject, you have to go to the root, the origin. Where does it spring up from? When European colonizers came to the land that is now called Africa, their agenda was not just to conquer the land, but to dominate the minds. That's what we have to understand. It wasn't just about conquest of a land and of a people, but it was of the minds of the people of that land. The missionaries often accompanied the colonizers, bringing with them the message that African traditions were evil and that the salvation could only come through Christianity. So those who have the Christian superior complex that you could only connect to the divine through the modality of the religion of Christianity, you have that thought process because the European colonizers gave that understanding to us when they conquered our land, our people, and our minds. Now, this concept caused deep cultural and spiritual disconnection. And so that's why we have to do the work to reconnect. Because these traumatic situations around Christianity and its dogma and indoctrination has caused deep cultural and spiritual disconnection. So it's upon us, our duty, to dismantle it, because it is a dysfunctional system. So indigenous rituals, ancestral veneration, and African cosmologies were all labeled as, you guessed it, witchcraft. The African worldview, which was holistic in nature and community-based, was replaced with an individualistic, fear-based doctrine focused on sin and eternal damnation. For some of our ancestors, the melanated brothers and sisters in the diaspora, it was magnified. The prisoners of war who became enslaved Africans were forbidden from practicing their spiritual traditions that kept their communities and their people and nations together. Christianity was used as a tool of control, with passages from the Bible, the good book, manipulated to justify slavery. Fear became a central theme. Fear of God, fear of your ancestors, fear of oneself. Let that sink in. Now this disconnection has lingering effects, and that's what we have to understand. A lingering effect, so much so that many of us were taught to see our heritage as something to be ashamed of. And yet today we struggle with feelings of unworthiness rooted in doctrines of sin and punishment. And also we have internalized these beliefs and doctrines, this belief that African spiritual systems are inferior, demonic, or even dangerous. But here's the truth. We are not disconnected from the divine. They have taught us that through enslaving our mind. But as we decolonize, deconstruct, rewire our brain, really wash our brain clean and pure from enslavement, we will begin to see that we are not disconnected from the divine. It has been lying dormant within us all along, that the divine is within us. And our healing begins when we start to remember this. So I want you to take a moment and reflect. If you've been a part of the Christian religion or Christianity in all of its many various forms, I want you to think, how has Christianity shaped your understanding of yourself and your spirituality? And if you wasn't raised or had any contact with Christianity, think about whatever faith tradition that is not indigenous to Africa that you have bought into. How has it shaped your understanding of yourself and your spirituality and even your worldview? And if any emotions come up, I want you to honor them. They are a part of your healing journey.